You know, Jackson Hinkle, he got arrested because he was protesting the eviction moratorium. That's activism. That's activism. Not going to some damn gala of rich people saying, tax the rich on your dress. What the hell is that?
Keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice. Baked chicken with the skin on. Yeah, Lowry's with black pepper. I'm fully seasoned with laughter.
What's up, y'all? So sorry I haven't been making videos lately. I just had surgery like 4 or 5 days ago, my second surgery, and I'm still recovering from the surgery. Mostly because of the painkillers that puts me asleep, and you can't make videos of your sleep most of the day. So, but now that I don't have to take the medication as often, I'll be able to return to a semi-normal posting schedule, and I'll be able to do that more and more the more I heal. So AOC, she went to the Met Gala in a white dress that says tax the rich, and many people online are critical of her because tickets to get into the Met Gala are $30,000 and the dress itself was about $2,000. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna be fair to AOC, because some of the criticism she's getting online isn't fair. Then I'm gonna give very fair criticisms of AOC after. But before I go into that, I actually never heard of the Met Gala until I think before Nicki Minaj decided she wasn't going to perform at the Met Gala because her husband, well, mainly because people were saying that, you know, there's probably a Chuck E. Cheese's near the Met Gala, so her husband couldn't go there because of that. Because if you don't know what happened with Nicki Minaj and her husband and her brother, you should go do a little research. Has issues, shouldn't be around kids. So that's when I first heard about the Met Gala. Wait, actually that's the VMAs, I think. Yeah, I think it's the VMAs. But what does the V in VMA stand for? I'm getting off track. But anyways, so I didn't know what the Met Gala was, and to be quite honest, I still don't know what the Met Gala is. I just know it's a place where a bunch of rich people congregate. So AOC, she went to a Met Gala where the tickets were $30,000 per person, and the dress she wore there was $2,000. So there's people online that's saying that, oh, she paid $30,000 for a ticket, she's being a hypocrite, and she's wearing a $2,000 dress. So here's the thing. AOC, she did not buy those tickets. She was invited there for free because she's a New York congressperson, so she's allowed to go there for free. She did not pay for those tickets, and the dress she didn't pay for either. It was loaned to her for free to wear for the event, so she did not pay for that, to be clear. So now time to get into the fair criticism of Nicki Minaj. Goodness, time to get into the fair criticisms of AOC. I can't believe I call her Nicki Minaj. Whatever. But, so yeah. But before I go into that, I want to read some comments because, you know, it's all online. AOC going to the Met Gala and people have a lot to say about it. So I want to read some comments that really frustrated me because people stay simping over these politicians. They're simping over AOC right now. So let me read some of these comments. So what people are really posting everywhere is hate the gala, not the gal. Well played, AOC. And as you can see, it says tax the rich on her dress. So let's read some of these simping ass comments. Can't wait till AOC is president. So you want AOC to be president and she won't even fight for Medicare for all. She could have withheld her vote unless Medicare for all was put. She could have withheld her vote for Nancy Pelosi unless she promised to bring Medicare for all for a floor vote, and she refused to do that. She wouldn't even hold her vote in the stimulus package, that in Joe Biden's stimulus package, to get more money to get $15 an hour minimum wage. Because look, here's the thing that people don't understand. People understand for some reason Joe Manchin have leverage, so if he holds his vote, then He has leverage. He has power. But people don't understand that because the vote margins are so slim in Congress that if AOC holds her vote, if she would have held a vote along with a few other Justice Democrats, if just, I believe, 6 of them held their vote, that they would have enough to do whatever the hell they want. But they don't want to do that. There's 9 of them in Congress, so they have enough. They have just enough to completely run Congress if they want to. But the problem is they don't want to. This tax the rich, it's a slogan. It's nothing more than a slogan. It's not an actionable item for them. So you want more slogans like how Obama did, hope and change, instead of actual hope and change. That's what you want as president. Let me read some more simping comments. AOC, you got it. You got what? Yes, she cares. I love AOC. If I had been invited to a party of the nation's richest people, I'd have tried to piss them off too. I'd have worn my hammer and sickle mask. So she really believes that AOC pissed them off with that dress. They don't give a damn because they know in the end she's not going to fight for anything. I think the Fred Hampton leftist tweeted that she has been the best PR machine for a Democratic Party. She's PR. So people that they say that they're socialist, people that say that they're anti-capitalist, AOC's doing PR. She's doing PR for the Democratic Party to bring those people in the fold. But she's not actually doing it. Not doing any of that. Let's read some more simping ass comments. She is so dope. Smiley face heart, smiley face heart, smiley face heart, smiley face heart, smiley face heart. I saw her first, guys. That's the ultimate simp comment. She's really awesome. I really love her. We need more people like her in politics all over the world. One question. Can I borrow her for a week as we have federal elections here in Germany on the 26th of September? And as a member of the Green Party, I think she has a lot in common with us and could help us win. Oh, just kidding. She's such a great person. I really adore her so much. So, this comment, it's so foolish. It's so foolish. So, she's really a great person. But her and Cori Bush, when a protester, they were asking about the eviction moratorium, the 1% of people, over 1 million people who's going to lose their homes. What about us? What did she say exactly? She said, oh, we'll figure that out. And then people continued questioning them. And then her and Cori Bush started playing music and dancing to drown out activists, to drown out protesters. That's what someone on the left does. They drown out the voices of their constituents because they don't want to take a question. What activist doesn't want to take a question? What activist wouldn't want to spread their message? If you actually believe in what you say, you have no problem answering questions. If anybody want to ask me questions, if you look at my comment sections, about 99% of comments, until recently, because like I said, I'm on pain meds that put me to sleep on Percocets. I respond to 99% of my comments. And if anyone wants to have a debate with me on what I believe, I have no problem doing so because I believe what I actually say. If you believe what you're saying, AOC, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, the rest of you Justice Democrats, you have no problem answering questions from activists. You claim you're supposed to be activists. That's not activism. Listen, I have been involved in activism and community service type work ever since 2011 when I was in high school. No, 2010 rather. I started out working in volunteering, not even working, wasn't getting paid. Volunteering in at the time Congressperson Jumaane Williams' office. And then I worked at a nonprofit for the first, I believe, year. They couldn't really afford to pay me really anything because they were a relatively upstart nonprofit, really, but doing really good work in the community. They paid me just they were only able to afford to pay me $200 per week. Sometimes I got paid $200 per week sometimes, and I did that type of work because they actually did good work in the community. And the thing is, I know for sure they didn't really have any money. It's not that they didn't want to pay me, because even the boss wasn't making anything at the time. And I know that because I dealt with the payroll. I was the administrative, eventually I became the administrative director of the company. And I was in charge of her pay. Mine also, I was in charge of everyone's pay, but I knew what everyone was getting paid. And the boss for a good while didn't take any money. What she was doing, shout out to Monique Waterman, that's what her name is, East Flatbush Village. She was doing actual activism. She wasn't getting paid for her work, put in years of work in the community, wasn't getting paid. And there was times that I wouldn't take my paycheck to make sure everyone else who weren't like part of the foundation of the community, make sure that they got paid. And the boss did the exact same thing. That's one of the reasons I didn't have a problem doing so, because she wasn't one of those who would say one thing and do the other. My boss, Monique Waterman, at the time, she made sure that everyone else was paid before she got paid. And then I had no problem doing the same, because I knew the work that they were doing in the community. I knew how much they wanted to help out people, how important that was to them, and how important that was to me. The reason they hired me there, they had me work there, is because I was doing community service for free. I started my own mentoring program in my high school, wasn't getting paid for it. And then her husband, Eric Waterman, who was my former football coach, he said, hey, you're doing this for free already, you might as well get paid to do what you're already doing. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Unfortunately, I didn't get to continue mentoring because they needed me for larger roles, like in more management type roles. But that's what I started out doing initially. I was mentoring people, and I did it for free. And when I moved to upper level management, I would sometimes not withhold my pay so others can get paid. We did actual community service. We did actual work. We'd be out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, handing out resources, pamphlets, talking to kids to make sure that they were able to find jobs. 2 o'clock in the morning. The reason why we're out there so late, is called Occupy the Corner, was because that's when most of the violence was occurring, on the weekends during that time. So we wanted to try to intercept some of these kids to make sure that didn't happen. I'll tell you a story. So my Monique Waterman, she's the most gangster person in the world. She's my former boss, like I said. So there was one time we were walking down the block. It was around 2 a.m. in the morning, right? And there's these gang members who one of their homies got killed in the shooting. So they were in a circle, like plotting on taking revenge on the gang that killed their homie. So Monique, she is fearless. If she hears gunshots, she's going towards the gunshots, which is still crazy to me. But she is fearless. She told me before she's not afraid to die. She's not lying. She's one of the few that's not lying. So she walked into that circle. She started walking towards them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're about to die today. This is really how we're about to die. So she walked in that circle, and I walked behind her just to, be her protection. But I really couldn't. There was like 15 of them, and there's 2 of us. So if they decide they want to do something, they could end us right there. And I would have not been nearly enough to be any type of protection whatsoever. So she walked into that circle of dudes planning on killing other dudes, and she talked them out of it. She saw how emotional they was. She got them to actually cry instead of just being angry all the time. And we're able to help those kids. And she, not me, not we. I was just there making sure that being her protection. She made sure that there wasn't anyone murdered. That's actual activism. Not what AOC is doing. Not what Jamal Bowman's doing. They're BSing. Not what, who else? Ayanna Presley, Ilhan Omar, Corey Bush. That's not, what they're doing is not activism. I've seen real activism. Let me read some more of these simping comments. Oh my God, that's hot. The message is great too. Ultimate simp comment. I think she's both beautiful and wonderful and smart and articulate and fearless. What type of sentence is that? What type of sentence is that? It's a very bad just simping over AOC and politicians. These politicians don't give a damn about you. We're simping over them. And then you're like, she's so smart and she's beautiful and she's funny and she's amazing and she's... Who taught you how to write?
Learn makeup and stickers and ponies in myspace.com.
So as you all see, these names are all crossed out because I attack stupid ideas. Stupid people ideas, I don't attack these stupid people. And I never want anyone who is a subscriber of mine to attack anyone who is probably a poor person. I only go after a rich by name. So next simping comment. I love her strong and smart women, especially love the ones that don't let men walk all over them. I have no clue what this have to do with this symbolism. And here's the thing about what gets me upset about what AOC is doing here. It's symbolism. It's a slogan. AOC, she wore a dress that said tax the rich while associating herself with all the rich people. She thinks she's making a statement by just saying tax the rich. So what she was able to do with this is she is able to get more people to start stupidly simping over her while not doing anything. The same thing Obama always did. AOC is Obama 2.0. Obama is say to have the most flowery language, give a word salad, and not say anything. It's just like when AOC spoke on the Israel-Palestine issue a couple of months ago, and I covered it. I'll play it for you.
What actions do you think can be taken to support movements towards peace, both between Israelis and Palestinians, as well as within the entire region, such as the Abraham Accords?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, earlier just now, you and I were talking about the what and the how.
Yes.
And I think that when we talk about establishing peace, centering people's humanities, protecting people's rights, it's not just about the what and the end goal, which often gets a lot of focus. But I actually think it's much more about the how and the way that we are coming together and how we interpret that what and how we act in the actions that we take to get to that what. And so what this really is about is that it's a question more than anything else about process. And so we really need to make sure that we are valuing a process where all parties are respected and have, a lot of equal opportunity to really make sure that we are negotiating good faith, et-cetera. That being said, I think that there's just this one central issue of settlements, because if the what that has been decided on is to state, then the action of settlements it's not the how to get to that what. And so, I think that that's a central thing that we need to make sure that we center and that we value Jewish and rather we value Israeli. We value the safety and the human rights of Israelis. We value the safety and the human rights of Palestinians in that process that is similar and that on equal footing. And so all of that is extremely important in that process.
So it's just like that. She doesn't mean a damn word she say. Like, what the hell is that? Obama does the exact same thing. Give a BS, flowery, word salad. Say a whole lot. Sounds very inspirational, but none of that meant a damn thing. And he definitely didn't do a damn thing. Same thing like AOC. She's saying a lot. She is a very progressive tweeter. She is the most progressive tweeter I've ever seen. Actually, no, because she said some nonsense about I believe it was Cuba. So, but she is overall, as a whole, she's a very progressive tweeter. Her actions, not so much. You know, Jackson Hinkle, he got arrested because he is protesting the eviction moratorium. That's activism. That's activism. Not going to some damn gala of rich people saying, tax the rich on your dress. What the hell is that? You read some more of these comments, man. That, my friends, is exploding the head of every right winger numbskull. Not really. Not really. No one gives a damn. Maybe some of the idiots in Congress, but as a whole, no one gives a damn. They're making fun of her. She's incredible. Love it. Wow. Fantastic dress. It's like a fancy street theater, and we can always use more of that. Fancy or not. Go AOC. Thank you. So take a look at this gaslighting comment right here. There is no reason to reply or react to these stupid attacks on AOC. The attacks are stupid. So some of the comments, most of these have been deleted. Like most of the comments that were being critical of AOC in this post were deleted by admins because you can't say anything about your queen. Some people called her a queen too. So people are critical of her because instead of listening to activists who know they're in trouble because the eviction moratorium ended, she drowned them out. Instead of holding her vote for Nancy Pelosi to get a vote on Medicare for all, we know that wasn't going to pass, but we needed to know who was against it so we could vote those, so we could attempt to primary those people. We know that. People making the argument against forced vote. You know, women's suffrage failed, what was it, 11 times? It failed 11 times. So I guess none of y'all was in favor of women getting the right to vote. Because, oh, we don't have the votes. We can't do it. It's going to kill the movement, according to Pramila Jayapal. What a stupid comment. So I guess the 10 other times the women's suffrage movement failed, the movement was killed because they didn't have the votes. See how stupid that sounds? The Civil Rights Act for black people to vote, it failed over 30 times. So I guess Pramila Jayapal and people like AOC and the rest of the squad, I guess they were against women and people of color voting because they didn't have the vote for it. It was going to kill the momentum. It was going to fail. You know what Martin Luther King says? The right time to do the right thing is never. Only when the time's right. The only time you should do the right thing is when the time's right. Other times, it don't matter. Martin Luther King. So let me continue this comment. Let me continue reading this comment. So there's no reason to reply to or react to such stupid attacks on AOC. First, the hypocrisy of fawning on the rich and yet demanding that anyone fighting for better lives for the poor and working class communities should take a vow of poverty is nauseating. No one's saying that. No one said you have to be in poverty. We're saying you have to actually fight. See how much she's gaslighting? This is what liberals do. This is what leftists do. And they want to pretend they're so much better than the right. Y'all ain't no damn different. It's time to shed that old attitude. I'm thrilled she has a better quality of life. It's great she has a better quality of life. That's great. But we put you in Congress? Okay, I'm going to say we, because I volunteered on her initial campaign. Before 99% of y'all knew about her, I volunteered on her campaign because she said she was going to fight. She said that she was going to she was going to lead protests outside of Nancy Pelosi's office. She said that she was going to, lead multiple protests. It was one, and then after that, she cut up to Mama Bear, couldn't say anything to her again because she would get kicked off committee assignments. She said that we should never be nice to the Democrats. She said that. She said if you're nice to politicians, they're not going to listen to you. But if someone is critical of her, it's violence. Not actually attacking or threatening, but if someone says, hey, you said you were going to do this and this and this. Violence. Y'all saw what Anna Kasparian said was, I forget the reporter's name. What Anna Kasparian called harassment of Cori Bush. Violence. So scary. Asking her a question about force of vote is violence, according to AOC. It's violence, according to Anna Kasparian.
That's where we are.
And I heard, last night, there was a lot less people. It's great to see so many more people. But I heard there was an intense debate about the role of the squad and why the squad didn't leverage its vote for the speaker for Medicare for all vote. And why the squad, with the margin so narrow in Congress, why the squad didn't
because
leverage its vote on the stimulus to get a $15 minimum wage. What?
No. So first, one thing that was said last night, which is something that's very true, and I wish we would have talked about that this was where your conversation was going, because we're talking about the rally for tonight. And I really would love to keep the conversation on what's happening.
I feel like it's all related to healthcare and the...
It absolutely is, but this is the thing. What was said last night is that this bill, Medicare for All, is not, there's no person on the squad whose bill that is. That is Bernie Sanders' bill in the Senate. It is Pramila Jayapal's bill in the House. It is not our bill. We cannot make that bill come to the floor. There is nothing that we can do legally to get the bill to the floor. We have
But Pelosi could have brought the bill to the floor.
We're good here, thank you.
Well, what? Well,
I'm sorry, man. We're fine at this.
Why can't she answer the question?
We're here to talk about the eviction.
But I feel like it's all about health care.
Thank you.
No, really appreciate that.
Really appreciate your time.
We're here for a reason. It's about the moratorium.
Well, why is that? I can't ask about Medicare for all.
But the Congresswoman has slept 1 hour. She's done a lot of labor.
I'm trying to get people out here too.
I respect your work.
I'm trying to do the same thing you all are doing.
Thank you for being here.
But why can't she could just answer it and then I go away? I'm not trying to attack her or anything. I'm not trying to smear her.
We're happy to give you a contact and you can reach out.
But why is that issue, the Medicare for all vote, so she was wrapping up her?
I'm not having this conversation.
But she was wrapping up her. I know she was wrapping up her answer. Then I was going to say thank you. Everybody come out.
I appreciate.
But why didn't you let her just wrap up her answer?
I really appreciate you. We're happy to give you a contact. You can feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks. Okay, they wouldn't even let her finish her answer. I mean, I thought it was a perfectly fine explanation, and I was just going to be like, okay, thank you for answering.
I need to get through this comment. I'm thrilled she has a better quality of life now that she has been working 2 jobs, long hours as a waitress and a bartender, which is not different than most people. Everybody deserves that. She's among the most accountable public figures in Washington. No, she's not. How is she one of the most accountable? She doesn't give a damn what her constituents have to say. Her office just happened to be closed when people are going to protest her for not showing up for the Medicare for All march. She was able to show up to a gala with a bunch of rich folk, but couldn't show up to a Medicare for All march that spanned across 50 cities. She didn't even mention it. She has, I don't know how many, I'm barely on Twitter and I don't follow AOC. I don't really follow many people. So I don't know how many Twitter followers she has, but I believe she has over 9 million, definitely over 1 million Twitter followers. So let's say she has 1 million. She couldn't engage her 1 million followers to get many more people across the 50 cities across the U.S. to show up. She couldn't do that. Her, Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, Ayanna Pressley. Who else am I forgetting? It doesn't matter. The Justice Democrats, they couldn't. If you're really for Medicare for all, Nina Turner, you didn't show up or you didn't mention it either. So none of y'all couldn't say, hey, there's a Medicare for All march happening across 50 cities. That was impossible? You couldn't tweet that out? So activists who are relatively small are not really recognized was able to plan 50 marches across the US. Do you know how amazing that is? Now imagine just how large the turnout would have been, because a few 100,000 people show up to the marches across 50 cities. I believe the final number was about 100,000 people across 50 cities. Or it might have been a little less. But imagine what the numbers would have been if AOC is like, hey, we're having a Medicare for All march. But she doesn't actually care about it. It's a slogan. Medicare for All had become a slogan for all these politicians. For Bernie Sanders, for AOC, for Ilhan Omar, for Cori Bush, for Jamal Bowman, for Ro Khanna. That's all it is. A slogan. I still didn't finish this comment because it's such foolishness, right? So, she's among the most accountable public figures in Washington. And yes, we should keep them all accountable to their constituents. But you are mad at people who's doing it here. So go after the ones who really have gone over to the dark side. So that's exactly why I should go after AOC and the rest of the Just Democrats. They probably didn't go over to it. Maybe some of them did, right? So here's what I believe about the Justice Democrats. Their quality of life has been improved so much. So much from where it used to be. I believe Cori Bush used to be homeless at one point. That they feel content. So that's why it went over to the dark side. And eventually they want to gain more power. Especially you can really see it with AOC. She really wants so much more power, so she doesn't want to challenge the establishment too much. Just make it seem like she's doing it enough to get her base behind her, but not too much. You know, wear a dress here and there. Tweet something here and there, but not lead a protest. Not hold your votes to get leverage. Not do that. Just symbolism. Let me read a few more of these comments. Love it. Hot on so many levels. The lady rocks. Love her attitude, her message, her energy. AOC is the best. Quite a lady with the beautiful smile and a wonderful way of sending an accurate message. She's nailing exactly why so many DC fail to represent their constituents by bought and paid for by their corporate mega donors. She's extremely intelligent. Our queen. Notorious AOC.
That's true.
Bro, don't do that. Don't do that. Notorious AOC. Don't disrespect Biggie. Do not do that. Do not do that. The Met Gala doesn't really impress me. She sent the message, of course. She was the first politician that ever said, why is there always money to kill people, but none to help the American people? Truth bombs. She's not the first politician. She's not the first politician to say that. But when you simp over AOC, you believe anything she does is the first. It's no different than people simping over Hillary Clinton or Sarah Palin or no one simps over George Bush. Donald Trump, Barack Obama, y'all are just like them. She rocks. Yes. No. Yes. AOC rocks. So I think I'm about done reading these simping as comments. Because it's disgusting. It's disgusting, right? Because there's people with legitimate criticism. Here, I'll read you one. Someone doesn't understand controlled opposition and it showed. Someone has bought wholeheartedly into electoral politics, which has literally never liberated anyone, and it shows. History isn't on your side, sweetie. You're not changing the Democratic Party in electoral politics. Is a dead end. And there's a lot of gaslighting comments here. Oh yes, this is the Fred Hampton tour I was talking about. The boutique left is loving AOC's gala stunt because they high key wish it was them. All they wanted was a cosplay socialist celebrity, and now they got it. That's actually not the tweet I'm looking for, but it's so true. It's so true. Someone cosplaying a socialist, pretending they're a socialist. Like, how many of these leftists pretend they're socialists? It's no different than when liberals would be like, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," and then when a black person speaks on black issues, not those black lives, not those black opinions. They don't matter. There's so many white leftist YouTubers that never platform black people. They just talk about there'd be white people talking about black issues, never have black people on speaking about black issues. Very few left YouTubers, especially the major ones, do so. The Hair of the Dog show does that. They're now part of the Fred Hampton leftists. They put me on their show when I was still a bit nervous speaking in front of the camera. They had no problem having me on their show. And Carrie Barber, who's one of the hosts of the show, she invited me on, and she didn't agree with everything I said, but she had me on the show because she believed that, having a black person speak about black issues is important. I'm gonna link the Hair of the Dog show in my video description below. The only other, I see Jackson Hinkle, I believe he had on actual black people that's not establishment, that's not part of the establishment on his show. Who else have done it? Jimmy Dore, he has on black people. He's the only major leftist YouTuber, I believe, that actually platforms black people and have them speak about their ideas. I've never seen unless you're talking about black people like Ben Dixon, who the Young Turks will have on, who does not represent the opinions of most blacks and definitely doesn't represent the ideas of most blacks on the left. That's who they have on. Only the mainstream liberal blacks. That's who they have on. Jimmy Dore has on the Fred Hampton leftists. He has on Sabby Sabs. He's had on Nico House. But the rest of these progressive left YouTubers don't do that. So I have questions. Anyways, AOC, she is completely fraudulent. The Justice Democrats are fraudulent. There's a stunt. It was nothing but a stunt the entire time. And for those of you who want to continue simping over politicians, it's sad to see. It's very sad to see. And that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, I'll post videos in the future. But I gotta leave you with one more thing before the video is over, and that's the word of the day. The word of the day for today is fraud. Fraud is spelled F-R-A-U-D. The definition of fraud is a person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by justifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. So now I will attempt to use fraud in a sentence. At this point, it is quite clear that AOC is a fraud, along with all of the other Justice Democrats. Hopefully I use that sentence correctly. So again, if you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications because YouTube will not share my videos unless you do so. Use fraud in the sentence in the comment section below so I know you watch the video to the end. Other than that, I have a Patreon account now. If you want to donate anything to my Patreon, anywhere between $30 and $10 a month, it'd be really appreciated. Help the channel grow a lot. My Patreon is patreon.com/keep100dre. Or if you want to donate any more, help the channel grow massively, I would appreciate it just as much. You can donate to my Buy Me a Coffee. My Buy Me a Coffee is buymeacoffee.com/keep100dre. Once I recover from surgery, I'm going to be posting some exclusive content on that channel. You can let me know what you want me to post about. Yeah, you can let me know. It's some of the content is going to be political, but it's also going to be other things. And you can ask me whatever tier you decide to join. you're all gonna get pretty much the same benefits because, listen, I don't believe anyone is better than anyone else because some people can afford something or not. So anyone who can give anything, whether it's 3, whether it's 10, whether it's 50, whether it's 30, whether it's 100, I want to give everyone the same opportunities to be able to do these things. Because, you know, years ago I wouldn't have been able to afford even a $10 donation to anything, but I would still have liked to ask questions to many. So that's why if you do join my any of my Patreon and buy me a coffee, everyone's gonna be treated the same. If that's something you don't like, that's unfortunate, but hey, I appreciate y'all watching the video. 100%. Peace.
Well, I've been stacking up. Nah, really that ain't accurate, cause I just spent my whole damn advance in the past couple months just to compensate for times we ain't have enough. Ooh.